All right, I believe we are all the way live, which means hello and welcome to my graveyard. I am the host of the evening, the Cemetery Man from Salem, Mass. Always taking names and kicking candy ass live in living color here on YouTube. How's everybody doing on this fine evening? It is December 20th, 2019. I believe it's actually, I heard today, I read today actually. I saw that it was the 23rd anniversary of the legendary Scream, which is one of my favorite horror movies of all time. So I wanted to give a shout out to Scream. And also in 3 days, it's actually the 23rd anniversary of me. It's my birthday in 3 days, believe it or not. 23, I turn on the 23rd. So that's going to be a really, really cool day. A lot of fun. Uh, Festivities will probably take place. I'm planning on going out to this place out east, and it's like this big ass pizzeria, and they give you big ass pizzas. And me and a bunch of my buddies are going to be going out there, so I'm really, really excited for that. Going to be a really fun time, chilling out, eating some pizza and whatnot. And I just was like, I wanted to do a show before the holiday because I know the holidays can sometimes be long, and some people, they don't even do YouTube videos from like 25th on. So I was like, you know what? Screw it. I was like, I'm gonna do a show pre-Christmas so everybody can get their grande fix, if you will. Granted, I know I don't have too many, subscribers, or I don't even have anybody watching currently. But I figured, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do a Christmas themed episode, and I actually have the one from last year. I'm gonna upload that around Christmas time. I'm not sure like which day exactly, but I'm definitely going to be uploading that one sometime soon. So, that is what it is. But we are here on this lovely evening. I am going to be discussing one of my favorite all time horror movie franchises that take place around Christmas. I would say it's the best horror movie that takes place around the best horror movie franchise that takes place around Christmas. Good buddy Devin Hurd says, "Hey, how you doing, Devin? How you doing, man? Chilling, hanging out, chilling like a villain. You've been watching any Christmas horror, man? I hope you have been, because I've been watching so much of it lately that I'm almost burned out of it at this point. But you know what? We got 5 more days to go till Christmas, so we'll go from there after that. But I was like, I wanted to do this for a while. Been wanting to do this last year. I meant to do this with my good buddy Ryan, and you may notice that Ryan, I put his name in the title, but he's not here. Ryan was going to do this with me last year, and he had like kidney stones and ended up getting rushed to the hospital. He was in the hospital almost a week, so that was a really shitty period for Ryan, and that we ended up not doing the show. And here I am 1 year later. I'm like, yo, I want to talk some Silent Night, Deadly Night movies on this show. And I was like, you know what, this is going to be badass. So I wanted to do this, tonight. And Ryan said he's going to join me. He's going to try to join me at least. I waited till like now, so I was hoping he'd join me, but he said that he's kind of busy right now. So hopefully he joins the stream at some point or another. And okay, so Black Christmas, that's about it, dude. The original, or you talk about the new one? The original I love, and even the 2006 remake I've watched, and I can get enjoyment out of that movie. It's a very good looking horror movie, the Black Christmas remake. They use the director Glenn Morgan. He uses the lighting and the atmosphere and theme of the holiday really to his advantage to make that movie feel and look very creepy. I don't think that first remake's too bad, but I don't know. There's something about that this newest one that looks really, really bad. Okay, so it is the original. Devin says it's the original. Good. That's the one you should watch, dude. I don't know if you've heard about the bad reviews that the latest one has been getting, but holy crap, man. Like, I can't even, I couldn't have hoped for it to get even worse reviews, man. Like, it's getting crapped on. Like, even I know a lot of female horror fans that are crapping on that new movie, man. And it's made for them. So it's made for, a female demographic, really. It's really a Me Too kind of messaged movie. But the main thing I've gotten from that remake that I've heard is that it's a political movie with the horror name attached to it, which is kind of a bummer because we're just trying to enjoy some good Christmas horror, man. We don't go to the theater to watch politics. We go to the theater to get away from that stuff. Even if I agree or disagree of what they're saying, it's just at the end of the day, I'm just like, man, it's not the time nor place to do this stuff. Totally forgot they were making a new reboot of Black Christmas. Dude, yeah, that's because it's completely forgettable. I didn't bother to see it. I believe it currently gets a 3.1 on IMDb. That is the last time I checked, Devin. You could check me again. I don't know if it's if it's raised to a 3.2 or gone lower than a 3. I don't know. But 3.1 for a mainstream cinematic released film, that's like eye-opening to me. How the hell did that movie get into the theater if it was that terrible? It I mean, Blumhouse, I know he put his name on it, but man, I like it so far. I mean, I've heard nothing but bad. So I will not be checking that one out. I will be avoiding that one like the goddamn plague, bro. I'll stick with the original like you. And even the first remake, I can get some kind of, you know, uh, enjoyment out of. And yeah, it is going the whole feminist route. It unfortunately that's the decision they decided to take that series in. It never needed a remake. It never needed a sequel. The original is perfect, but I like at least the first remake. They tried to do something different with the killer. Granted, I thought it was batshit crazy and almost a little too batshit crazy, but I don't know. I mean, I guess it worked in some ways. This new one had no interest. Apparently, Billy's not even in it, so I have no interest. You couldn't pay me to go see that movie. Um, yeah, so but yeah, without further ado, we're gonna start getting into these awesome Christmas themed horror films. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, a batshit crazy series to say the least, and it all started in 1984 with Chuck E. Cellier's Silent Night, Deadly Night. This is the original. I have this 2-pack right here of part 1 and part 2. This back in the day, this used to go for quite a bit of money. This used to go for like $100 because I remember it was out of print. And I found it at like Suncoast for like $5, and I was like, oh my god, they don't even know. And I was thinking about reselling it, but like I don't know. I'm one of those people like I kind of like to have the rare editions and shit. Like I don't really like to sell my stuff. And both these movies I think are kick ass. I think these are the two best ones of the series. So I was like, you know what? I got a 2-pack of these. These are pretty badass. And I was just like all in on these for sure. Would I consider Ginger Dead Man, Jesus Christ, if I could say it right, bro. I mean, yeah, you could say so. Somebody was telling me that shitty movie ATM was a Christmas horror movie, and I started laughing. I was like, dude, I don't even fucking remember that movie. All I remember is Josh Peck and Alice Eve like screaming in an ATM, and I thought it was terrible, man. But yeah, man, the original Silent Night, Deadly Night. I absolutely love this film. I think this is a blast of a movie. I actually had the privilege to see this in the movie theater, 35 millimeter, like a couple weeks ago, back to back with Black Christmas, believe it or not. So they show these movies back to back, 35 millimeter, packed ass crowd, and man, it was a really really fun time at the movies. And I gotta say, as much as I love the original Black Christmas and as awesome as it looked on 35 millimeter, I gotta say that this one with a crowd was the best time I ever watched it. Like we were having a lot of fun as a crowd as a whole. And man, a lot of laughs, a lot of good stuff in this movie. It basically tells the story, if people have not seen this one, basically tells the story of the lead character named Billy. And it opens up with him and his family. Actually, they're driving to see the grandfather, and the grandfather's in like Utah mental institution, and he's like a mute. He doesn't speak or anything, and fucking Billy like is left alone with him at one point. The parents walk away, and this guy just starts telling him how scary Christmas is. Right? He's like, Christmas Eve is the scariest goddamn day ever. And I remember like the whole crowd theater just started cracking up. Like it's the funniest. Like I don't get why he sets it up like it's Halloween. He's like, Christmas Eve is terrifying, and it was so funny, man. And then basically on the way back, they get pretty much stopped by this guy dressed as Santa who continues to murder the father and kind of sexually assault the mother and kill her too. And Billy and his younger brother, who's a baby, this will play, you know, I haven't seen these movies in a while. No, I've seen these movies very recently. Actually, I watched this one. I just said I watched this one like 2 weeks ago, and I actually watched part 3 earlier today. So I've seen these movies very recently. Yeah, and he says Garbage Day. Remember the sequel, Garbage Day? Yes, we will get into Garbage Day. No worries. Yeah, man. I think This movie though is a lot of fun because then Billy and Ricky, who comes into play later in the sequels, he's like a baby in this. They both are taken to this kind of orphanage place, and the greatest man in the world is here, and it is me, Junebug Phillips, dude. Rock on. How you doing, buddy? Um, oh shit, what's he saying? I haven't seen these movies in a while. I'm sorry. It keeps auto correcting me. Oh, no worries. You're all good, Devin. I was like, I have seen these movies recently, brother. But yeah, the brothers are in the orphanage and they're basically growing up, and basically you're introduced to this like mean lady called Mother Superior, and she's very strict, and she talks about all these things. You can't be naughty, you can't be this, you can't be that. And like that's what I love about this movie. It has a lot of that kind of theme running around it, where you don't want to be too naughty or you'll be punished, which is the big line in this movie as well. And he grows up, and he's exposed to some crazy shit, and basically she gets him a job at this warehouse kind of toy store place. And one day the person who's supposed to be the store Santa, he's supposed to show up. He doesn't, and they give Ricky the suit. Not Ricky, I'm sorry, they give Billy the suit, and they say, you know what to do, basically. And all his exposure to Santa Claus at this point was seeing Santa Claus murder and sexually assault his mother and murder his father. So he assumes that what Santa Claus does on Christmas Eve, he kills people with an axe. So he starts running around killing people all over town, and it is a Silent Night, Deadly Night from there on, man. It's a great setup for a slasher movie. I got to say that right off the bat. I think the director Chucky Cellier, I think he does a really, really good job with the formula. You have a lot of blood, you've got a lot of boobs, you've got a lot of mayhem. That's the best formula for any good, decent slasher movie: boobs, blood, and mayhem. If you have those three in any way, shape, or form, 9 times out of 10, you've got a successful slasher movie. It's a really hard formula to fuck up. And I think he did a really, really good job with it. Little fun fact about this one that nobody really ever mentions: this came out the same exact week as A Nightmare on Elm Street, and because of parent protests based on the trailers of the film, it was pulled from release, and thus Elm Street got a wider release. And we all know what happened with Nightmare on Elm Street becoming the big franchise success that it has. And I always thought that was crazy to me. I thought that was a really cool fun fact about this one, where I always wonder, like, if this movie got the wider release and it didn't have that whole uproar, would this movie have taken off like the Freddy movies? Would the Nightmare on Elm Street be a one-off? Would Nightmare on Elm Street not have made enough money for a sequel? Like, it always makes me kind of wonder. I think in essence it all worked out and all unfolded the way I would like it to. I mean, I'd rather have a Nightmare on Elm Street series than this series. But I gotta say, man, this is a damn good slasher film overall. You have some fun characters in this. You have some really awesome 80s cheese in here. You have a montage when he's working at the store, and this really cheesy 80s song. It's like, we're working on the wrong side of the door. It's like John Hughes directed a fucking Silent Night, Deadly Night film, and it's mad entertaining. Like, I absolutely love that 80s cheese factor to this film. It's so there. And of course, you have awesome, awesome death scenes, which is what you want with every single slasher movie. The one I always remember is the one with Linnea Quigley, she's making out with her boyfriend and babysitting a young girl, right? And only like Linnea does, Linnea is making out on the pool table with this guy, and someone knocks on the door, and she answers the door with her goddamn no shirt on and just these really tiny short shorts. Of course, it's Billy. He comes in there and hangs her. He kind of impales her on a pair of antlers. And man, it is so badass. It's a great kill, man. Love that kill in this movie. And okay, the first Silent Night is pretty good, but then we get to the sequels. Oh man, we'll get to the sequels. I'll be honest, I honestly really love part 2, and I actually really like part 5. I could preface that by saying I have some good things to say about those movies. But yeah, that antler scene with Linnea Quigley, absolute perfection, man. She's a good-looking woman, a classic scream queen, and no exception here. She looks great and does great in this movie. I really like the scene. He kind of hangs this guy with a pair of Christmas lights and hangs him, and like with one hand and holds him up. Punish. I love that. It's mad funny. The scene where there's these two bully kids sledding down this hill, and the second one's coming down, and Billy pops up out of nowhere and decapitates him while he's sledding down the hill, and his body just kind of rolls down the hill with the sled, and then you see the head kind of tumble down the mountain. Awesome death scene, man. That's what slasher movies are all about, man. I love that death scene. I think that's an excellent death scene in a slasher film. And I gotta say, I think this one has a really fun finale too, where it kind of builds up. You have these awesome kills, you've got these boobs, blood, and mayhem, all the good stuff that we love in slasher films. And then it kind of comes to the finale where he wants to go back to, yes, naughty. He wants to go back to the orphanage that he felt so wrongly treated him. And he wants to go there to kill Mother Superior, this like nasty, nun, mean, cruel bitch, right? And I thought, man, it was so cool. Like, I just love that finale. I thought it was really funny. There's this guy who's deaf. I guess he's one of the priests of the orphanage, I guess. And he shows up in a Santa suit and he gets shot by this cop who's like, stop, stop. They shoot him dead in front of like these like 6-year-old kids. And they're like, oh, that's Father O'Brien. He's deaf. Like, because he's like, stop, stop. And the guy just keeps going through. They shoot him to death. And they're like, oh, he's deaf. I was like, well, isn't that fucking convenient, right? Like, holy shit. But I thought that was funny. Like, I cracked up laughing. That's like a real knee slapper. Like, I started cracking up in the theater. I was like, dude, what? Like, that's very convenient. And you have this really cool finale where Billy kind of confronts Mother Superior, and I always kind of wish he had executed the kill on her and then was stopped, but they do it the other way around where he's stopped just before he can kill Mother Superior, and she yells at him, "There is no Santa Claus!" And man, she does a great job in this. She's a really good at playing a bitch, like this uber nun bitch. And I thought Robert Brian Wilson's the actor who played the lead. I thought he did a great job. He never gets any mention. Eric Freeman gets all the mention in the world, which he deserves it. But I gotta say, I thought that Billy, the actor who played Billy in this, does a really good job. I really thoroughly enjoy his performance in this movie, and I think he does a really cool job at this. And I think it's kind of a shame that they pulled this movie out of the theaters, like, because I think this is kind of a slasher classic. Like, if someone asked me to give my top 10 slasher films of the 1980s, I honestly think this would make the list. I think this is a really underrated slasher film. Like, I think it's probably overall the best one of the series. And I would say that it's definitely the best made and definitely the one with the most production value of the entire series. But I definitely think it's a classic slasher movie, man. I really enjoy the original Silent Night, Deadly Night from 1984. I think it's an absolute masterpiece. If you want to tell me what you guys think in the comments down below, please do. We got some comments here. I want to see Billy Bob Thornton in the next Silent Night, Deadly Night playing Bad Santa. Dude, I watched Bad Santa just last night too. That is so funny you say that. Um, something about that movie that I never realized is how good Billy Bob Thornton is towards the end when they're robbing the store and his friend turns on him. Tony Cox, his character, the midget guy, he turns on him. He completely turns to a serious kind of look. And I thought he did a really good job acting there. Like, I was like, damn, like Billy Bob Thornton did a great job. Like, other than playing this kind of vulgar character, I thought he did a really good job playing that character. And when he had to get serious, he was able to do so very believably. And I just loved his performance in that, man. I love Billy Bob Thornton in that movie. But if I was to rank the original Silent Night, Deadly Night, I can ask you guys, what would you rank it? I'm going to go with the rightful solid 8.5 out of 10. I love the original Silent Night, Deadly Night. I think it's an absolute really good slasher movie from the 1980s. And honestly, I think it's what slasher movies are all about. Boobs, blood, and mayhem, taking a holiday, making some money. Unfortunately, though, they didn't get to make the money that they wanted. But I'm guessing that they made enough money to warrant a sequel. And how this became a franchise, I'll never know. But I am very glad that we got the part 2 that we did, because we are transitioning into, ladies and gentlemen, one of my favorite so bad it's great horror movies of all time. And it is none other than Silent Night, Deadly Night, Part 2. Yes, prayers won't save you in the silent part of this night. Holy shit. I've got 2 words for you. Eric Freeman. I got 2 more words for you. Garbage Day. I have a classic I'm talking about right here, right now. I love this movie. I think this is my favorite one of the entire series. And a lot of that is because of the performance of the lead playing the Ricky character, and that, of course, is Eric Freeman. This one basically takes off, a few years after the original film, and Billy has been shot and killed at the end of the first one, and we open up in this mental hospital again, where Ricky, played by Eric Freeman in this film, the brother of Billy, is describing to this guy, his entire life. He's telling him, the good, the bad, the ugly, all this stuff about his life. And basically, for about 45 minutes of this film, 45 to about 50 minutes of this film, you get flashbacks from the original film. And it's basically all the highlights of the original movie. It's like the best parts of the original movie. And that's how they fill it in to make this a feature length movie. And then the next, like, I guess 40 minutes or so is Eric Freeman's batshit crazy acting. And I can't understate enough how much fun I have watching his performance in this movie, because this is a guy that really went for it. Eric Freeman really went for it. He's not a guy that was laying back and trying to be creepy or anything like that. He just went for, basically, in his own words, I've read interviews with him where he said, I think I was going for a really bad, a really cool Jack Nicholson in The Shining, and I just went really far with it. And that's basically the performance you get here, man. He is so much damn fun in this. And all the acting that he does is with his eyebrows and his emphasis. Like, this is kind of what he does. He's like, so, Doc, we just jerking off here then? Oh, Doc, fuck you. Like, it's so crazy, man. Like, every other word, he moves his eyebrows up and down. It's like all about the emphasis of his eyebrows. And what's funny is, I believe somebody counted, if I'm not wrong, and I believe his eyebrows go up and down 170 something times in this movie. And that is the funniest thing of all time. I love that someone took the time to count that, because every time that I show a friend this movie, every time that I watch this movie myself, you can't help but love its charm, because it is so batshit. It's so over the top, man. And I just love it, man. I think his performance is great. I have something for another Silent Night, Deadly Night. You have a shootout at a ball, and Santa has to fight the shooters one-man army style, and Santa is a little psycho. All right, Junebug, that's quite an idea, man. You gotta get a producer and start filming that shit. Eyebrow acting is the best, dude. I mean, that's why The Rock is a star, right? And my good brother Nate's here. What's going on, brother Nate? Good to have you in the hazy. We talking Silent Night, Deadly Night films, brother. I know I was talking to Nate before I came on the show here. I had like a White Castle feast. I got the cherry coke to prove it, man. Yo, I could review cherry coke this year, 2019's cherry coke. This is a classic horror film, dude. I fucking love cherry coke. Okay, that is the good stuff right there. But yeah. Oh, dude, no worries. You're not late. Don't even worry about it. Um, yeah, man. Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2, it is just a fun fucking time sitting and watching a movie. And I've showed this to so many people that do not like horror movies. My friends, I have a lot of friends that are, local, that they can't really get into them. But when you put this movie on, you can't help but be enamored by the back crap crazy performance of one Eric Freeman. And man, I think he just does a killer job in this. I think he's funny. I think he's quirky. And most of all, he's entertaining. He never bores you. You never want to turn it off. You never want to fast forward it, because basically what you get is the highlights of the first movie. You get all the kills, all the boobs, blood, mayhem of the first movie, and then in between you have Eric Freeman and his batshit craziness describing it with his eyebrow acting. And man, it just works. I think it's a blast. And once they get into Eric Freeman's past, that is when it's fucking even funnier, because you have scenes where Eric Freeman, you learn his character's origin, like where he went after the orphanage, and he's adopted by these two people. And I don't know, it's so funny. They show stock footage of this family barbecue, and he's like, "Oh, I used to love family barbecues," and I'm just like, dude, that's clearly not you or your family that adopted you. It's just like bad stock footage. And then, there's a random scene where they're walking down the street, and the next thing you see is these nuns walking down the street, and he fucking panics and runs away from the nuns. Like, I don't get why it's in there, but it's in there. And then there's a random scene where he's kind of just like in the middle of the woods, and for some reason or another he sees this couple and they're having a picnic, and the guy tries raping the woman, and for some reason or another, he runs down there and runs the guy over with his car and murders him. He like runs over him, backs over him, runs over him. He gets out of the car, and like the lady who's just like almost got raped, she has her hands on her chest and she's like, "Thank you so much." I was like, yo, he just murdered him right before your eyes. Like, this is right, man. I'm just like, what the fuck? And then you have this backcrap crazy scene, and probably my favorite kill, probably of the series, is when he's working somewhere and he sees this guy in an alley, like threatening to mug this guy with a gun, right? And he walks over to him and has like an umbrella and stabs him through the chest with an umbrella, and then opens the umbrella. And the guy's mouth, he's like his mouth open, it's like pouring out blood. And dude, man, it is such a fun time, man. Like they're over the top kills, but they are fun, and it never kind of loses its pace that it gets, And he has a love relationship at one point in this movie, and they go to a movie theater with this girl, and they're showing the original film on the big screen, and holy shit, like it's just out there, man. Like they really go for it. They go for a fun time at the movies. And that's really what this is. And of course, the number one most famous scene in this movie, probably the most famous horror meme of all time, is when Eric Freeman starts going on a murderous rampage with a gun and starts running around the neighborhood, and he shoots the one guy who's picking up the trash, and he goes, "Garbage day!" Boom, shoots the guy, and he's going on this whole rampage, and this is the evil laugh, and ha 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 ha. Ha, 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 ha. And it's that bad, but they keep it in there because only Eric Freeman can pull off the greatness of bad acting that is entertaining, bro. Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it. Nate's it. I like how they bring Mother Superior back and cover her face with heavy makeup, but they couldn't get the same actress. Dude, yeah, I don't fucking understand. Did she have gangrene of the cheek, bro? Like, what happened there? I don't know. It's so bad. Before I get into that, you do get a fun scene too where Eric Freeman's, going on the rampage, and he shoots this car, and they do a real practical effect where the car kind of tilts on its side, goes around Eric Freeman, and you can kind of see the stunt double just like barely got out of the way of the fucking car. That's a really good, well done scene that I never hear anybody talk about. Probably because the rest of the film is so poorly made, but that scene alone was pretty cool. And then it basically all leads up to him breaking out in the last 10 minutes of the film and finishing the job on Mother Superior, who, like Nate said, is just this weird, like they do this awful makeup on her face, and it's really noticeably fucking terrible. But it's funny. And something I noticed the last time I watched this movie, and I've watched this movie a ton. This is like Christmas Eve tradition to me to watch this movie on Christmas Eve. And the thing that I noticed most about this movie that I didn't realize the last time is how great the final 10 minutes are when he breaks into the house. And I actually have the artwork. I have a sweat jacket with the artwork of it. It's the Scream Factory Blu-ray artwork, basically. When Eric Freeman knocks in the door, kind of similar to The Shining, Jack Nicholson, and he's screaming at Mother Superior, he's like, "Oh, I love a chase!" Like, the last time I watched it, I don't know why, but that last 10 minutes had me in awe, and I kind of thought to myself, I was like, we'll never see anything like this movie again. You can't purposely make a bad movie. Like, I know a lot of people purposely make bad films like Birdemic and the Sharknado movies. And you know what? Those movies have their fans, and I'm not trying to knock you if you like those movies. That's perfectly fine if you do. But those movies, you can tell, are intended to be on purposely bad. Whereas this movie, I don't get that vibe. I get the vibe that Eric Freeman took this very seriously. Hence why it is so fucking funny and why it works, man. I just I don't know, man. I think it's such a crazy finale, and the entire movie as a whole, just every time I watch it, just enamors me because it's a once in a lifetime performance. It really is. And I know people will laugh and people will be like, Grande's nuts, man. Grande's praising this bad performance. I'm like, honestly, yeah. Because it's just it's something, it's lightning in a bottle. You can never try to be like that ever again. I know he tried to do it recently. I watched the video where he tried to do it again, and even Eric Freeman himself couldn't channel what he channeled in this movie, man. It was the right place, the right time, the right actor, in the right sequel. And man, I have a ball with Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2. This is a hard one for me to rank, but if I had to, I think the first one is a better film, considering half of this movie is the first one, stock footage of the first one. However, I this one's my favorite because it is the most fun. You have the best parts of the first film, and you have Eric Freeman just stealing the show like nobody else could. And I don't know, man. I love this movie. I'm gonna come in the same score, 8.5 out of 10. Absolutely love Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2. I think it is the perfect horror movie sequel. You have, again, boobs, blood, mayhem, and a legendary horror movie performance with the legendary Eric Freeman. So I couldn't recommend this one enough. Love Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2. Okay, we've had some people talking and stuff. Okay, let's see. Well, he's not the only person to kill people with umbrellas. The Penguin from Batman Returns. That is very true, Devin. I didn't think of that. However, I will argue Freeman did it first, and he did it funnier, and he did it, I think, a little bit more memorable. But I gotta love Danny DeVito. By the way, if you like Danny DeVito, he just did a iconic characters for that channel HQ, where he talks about his whole career. He talked a little bit about the Penguin. Really cool interview, man. If you like Danny DeVito, I'd say check out that video for sure. Oh, we got to that one with Nate. Wait, so they watched the original film. This is a sequel to that? Dude, yeah, there's a scene where they're in the movie theater and they're watching the original film, and it's just bad. It's batshit crazy. That actually happens in quite a. It happens in part 4. It happens in. I think it happens in part 3. It happens in like all of them, which is really weird. I guess that's kind of like the series thing. It's really weird, man. I don't know, but it is what it is. Devin says I'm going to have to watch these movies again. I have the first 2 in my collection. Devin, I highly recommend you watch part 2. I know you said you're more familiar with part 1, and granted, you're going to get a lot of part 1 with part 2. So that's the beauty of part 2, right? You can kind of cover them both by just watching part 2, and that's what I always really liked about the sequel. I thought it was a badass sequel because of that, and I highly recommend them both, man. I really do. But here we get into the start of the controversy of this series. I got this movie, I shit you not, today in the mail. Oh, we got one more comment here. Junebug, my complaint about that they were people talk about their iconic characters was Nicolas Cage. They did not talk about Gone in 60 Seconds. Oh, dude, I get pissed about that all the time, about the shit that they don't talk about. I want them to talk about the obscure stuff, but they always talk about the stuff they're most known for. So I mean that's the way that is. But I would kill to see one with Kurt Russell. Any horror fan wants to see one with Kurt Russell talking about all the Carpenter films he was in. That would be really cool. But like I was saying, I shit you not, I have to. I got this movie in the mail today, and it is really cool little VHS set here, and it is none other than part 3 of Silent Night, Deadly Night, ladies and gentlemen. This is Silent Night, Deadly Night, part 3. Better watch out. You better watch out. You better not cry. Bill Moseley's coming to kill you. Yeah, that's right. This is a fucking crazy movie. By the way, I gotta say, I don't know if anybody else loves this as much as I do, but I love this little horror sticker. I don't know how well you all can see that. Also, I gotta say, before I get into this movie, I fucking love this cover art. I don't know why. Like it's I guess it's a bad glare on the thing. But man, I love this cover art. I was gonna get the one sheet of this from Australia. But I honestly have nowhere to fucking put it, as you can see. I mean, I got fucking Rambo posters, Nightmare on Elm Street 4 posters. This one's Friday 13th Part 2. Here's the back of this, if anybody's worrying. You got Bill Moseley on the back of this, and I don't know. I gotta say, I just watched this one a few hours ago, and overall, I gotta say, man, this is a hard film to review because I really don't know what to say. I can give the plot synopsis, then I can give my thoughts. Basically, it stars this woman, Samantha Scully is her name, and she's kind of having these weird dreams, and she's kind of psychic, and she's also blind, and she's kind of telepathically communicating with Ricky, played by Bill Moseley in this film, after getting shot at the end of part two. He's in a coma in this one, and he has a bucket on his head with his brain exposed. I swear to God, that is the design for Bill Moseley. They don't show you on the back here, but it's very strange design. Like, it's very strange. I don't know why, but they decided, why not? We're just gonna have him run around with a bucket on his head and his brain sticking out. I don't know. I have no goddamn idea as to why they decided to do that, but it is what it is. They kind of have a telepathic communication where they can communicate what she sees, he sees, and what she sees or he sees, she sees. I fucked that up. I don't know. I fucked that up. But you get what I'm saying, right? She and him kind of had this bond. I don't know why. No one knows why. It's fucking batshit. And she leaves the hospital to meet her grandmother and her brother and his girlfriend for Christmas Eve dinner. And basically, Bill Moseley breaks out of the hospital and tries and goes on a rampage to try to kill her. That's basically the plot of this movie. To say that this movie is boring is the understatement of the decade. This is a boring fucking film. Not much happens in this movie. I am not even kidding you. There is only one on-screen kill in this movie, and it is a stab to the gut. And so you barely see that. You just see the actor go, oh, and you don't see the pet, nothing. This movie is heavily fucking cut. And oh yes, Devin, yes, that is exactly. I was trying to say that, but yes, thank you, I appreciate it. She, it's just weird, man. I don't get why they didn't go hardcore with the kills of this movie, because had they gone hardcore with the kills of this movie, I think it really had potential there. I think the director, it's weird, I can't believe he directed this film, is Monty Hellman. And in an interview with Monty Hellman I was watching, he claimed that this may not be his best movie, but he considers this his best work as a director. And so when I watched this, I was really looking for how he directed it and to see if I agreed with him. And if you don't know Monty Hellman, he's made some really good movies. I always think of the one he made with Jack Nicholson called The Terror. That's a kind of a funny movie, a funny little horror movie. This one, though, I don't know. I don't know what to say about it. Like, I think there is some potential there. I think the director does do a good job with certain scenes, especially I I like the very beginning. It's like this kind of white room. He captured a dreamlike atmosphere really well, and I thought that was really cool, that scene in particular. And there's some shots towards the end of the movie where Bill Moseley finally confronts the final girl, and he's going after her brother and the brother's girlfriend and all this stuff. I think that stuff is pretty well directed. But overall, man, this is just too cut. It's way too cut. It's almost like this franchise is Friday 13th Part 7 or Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 3, where the MPAA looks like they had their way with it. I don't know that for a fact. This movie did come out, though, in the years where the MPAA was going off. This came out in 1989, and it really fucking shows, because the MPAA, almost every kill in this movie is cut down. I've seen some of the uncut footage on YouTube, so I know that footage was shot. So I don't know if it was intended to be with so much off-screen kills and stuff like that. But that right there, off-screen kills for me, man, that is a huge negative. However, if it is because of the MPAA crippling your film, I feel like I can't hold that against the film, because they did shoot it. Like, I don't hate Texas Chainsaw 3 because it was, taken advantage of by the MPAA. I think it's a really good film, and I think had you released that movie uncut, you probably have a lot more fans of it to this day. And the same thing with Friday 13th Part 7. That movie uncut would be amazing. We want those versions of it. So I would love if they have an uncut version of this. Granted, this is not as good a movie as either one of those. I'm not trying to say that at all, but I don't know, man. I can definitely, as boring as it is, man, I can watch this one. Part 3 sounds like a piece of shit. Nate, honestly, I think of all of them, when you see this one, you will hate this one. Like, I would bet money that you will hate this fucking movie with a burning passion, because I feel like I have a good feel for what you like and what you don't like, and I feel like the legendary The Horror Boy will not like this movie. That's my prediction, Nate. Yeah, I better watch out. I better watch out for your shitty ass movie. Thanks for warning. I'll be sure to avoid you. You avoid me. You're gonna avoid me, Nate. Oh man, my feelings are crushed, brother. No, I'm just kidding. But I don't know. At the same, like, it's hard for me to shit on it though, Nate, because when we get to the next film, that's the film I'm gonna spread my fucking legs and shit on. That the next one. This okay. I could talk about negatives. It's boring. The kills are off screen. The characters, for the most part, are uninteresting. I liked Eric DeRay's character. He plays the brother, and Laura Harring actually shows up as his girlfriend, who she gets naked. So you get to see Laura Harring naked, which is always cool. They says, "Oh no, no, the movie." I know, I'm just kidding with you. I'm just fucking with you, Nate. I know you don't hate me that bad. But yeah, man, you get to see Laura Harring naked. So why do I remind? Why do you remind me of the angry? Dude, I fucking wish I had as many subscribers. The angry video game nerd. I fucking I wouldn't have to work full time. I'll tell you that much, Devin. Yo, spread the word, Devin. Tell 1.5 million people that I'm Cinemassacre 2.0, right? Hopefully I'll get 2.0 the fucking subscribers, right? Um, but yeah, man, this movie, it's just fucking there for me. I don't hate it with a passion like most people. Um, it's watchable, strangely. And you have Bill Moseley running around, and like, here's the thing with Bill Moseley: he's coming off playing Chop Top. In 1986, he played Chop Top in TCM2, and in this movie, you have him running around with an actual Chop Top. You have half his head is fucking lumped off, but he doesn't speak. He only says, Laura, Laura. And I'm like, yo, you had Bill fucking Moseley, dude. You had Bill Moseley, and you didn't have him like speak. Like, imagine having Bill Moseley play the Eric Freeman Ricky character. Like, imagine how fucking cool that would have been. He would have been like, more sinister and more dark with it, more, channeling Otis and channeling Chop Top. That would have been really cool. We don't get that with this movie. He's just kind of like almost like a silent killer, like Michael Myers or Jason, except he moves really even slower and he's even more emotionless somehow without wearing a mask than those two guys are. And I don't know, man. It's just strange. You can call me Ty Junebug Films in Juzza Business. I got you, Ty. I got you, brother. You should name yourself the Angry Movie Reviewer. I'm sure that one's already taken. You think so? I would assume that's if that's not taken, then fucking I am gonna take it. That's a good call, Devin. Don't worry, I will totally take that. Unfortunately, one day I'll have to check out these films, and I'll be sure to see the sequels. Yeah, Nate. This one will be. I bet money you won't like this one. You'll like this one the least. But yeah, man. I don't know. There are positives. There is potential there. You have a finale that I don't fucking understand. I don't like. She kind of defeats the killer, but the cop in the movie says it best. He's like, I don't know how you did it. I don't know if you know how you did it, but you beat him. I don't know either. Like, I don't know what the I don't know how she beat him. Like, he's coming towards her. The brother comes in with a shotgun, shoots Bill Moseley. He no sells the shotgun and fucking gets the brother's ass. And the next thing you fucking know, he trips over nothing and gets impaled by a piece of wood, and the movie fucking ends. And they do a close up like this on her, and she's like, "Merry Christmas." And then Bill Moseley's like, in a fucking tuxedo in the background. He goes, "Have a happy new year." I was just like, yo, what the fuck? Like, it's just bizarre, man. Like, I don't fucking understand it at all. It's really fucking weird. I gotta say, this lead girl she is very beautiful to look at, but she can't act worth a shit. She can't act her way out of a paper bag. It's really a shame to go from the fun Eric Freeman lead to this block of wood, man. This blind block of wood. Beautiful woman. I'm not trying to, she like I will be honest, I'd take her over Rooney Mara any day, even though Rooney Mara has gone on to be nominated for Oscars and shit. I think even this girl has more emotion than her, but granted, it's close. Like, she stinks. This girl really stinks. She's a terrible fucking actress. I'm not going to try to sugarcoat it here, but she is easier to look at. So for me, if you're hot, I can get through your movie. Like, Jessica Biel isn't the greatest actress, but when she's running around in a tight white skimpy t-shirt in the fucking pouring rain, I'm not going to turn the channel. You know what I mean? Is Bill good in it? Nate, Bill doesn't have enough to do in it, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, we can get into this briefly because there's really not much else to say about this movie. If I could rebook this movie, if I could try to fix this movie, because I think there is a movie here that you can fix and make it really, really good. What I would try to do, I would you could do the same setup and stuff that he's, in a coma and she has that telepathic thing with him. I wouldn't make her blind. I would take away the blind shit because she obviously struggled with trying to act with it and it's very noticeable. So I would have just made the character she can see, okay? The Lord said, "Let this bitch see." Um and then I'm having Bill Moseley come out of this coma as the fucking Eric Freeman Ricky and cracking one-liners and garbage day and I'm coming after you, toots. And, like that would have been fucking great, man. And having Bill Moseley just shout one-liners. And then I'm throwing all on-screen kills. Granted, that might not be in their control. MPA may have raped their film. I don't know. I wasn't there. But if you have on-screen kills, if you had a gory kills, a very fun Bill Moseley, a actress that didn't have to pretend she was blind because she clearly fucking struggled with it. If you added these things to this movie and a better finale, I think you've got a really good sequel. Like I think this is a movie that could have easily been fucking fixed, but for whatever reason, it was cheap looking. They took a lot of bad creative decisions and unfortunately this one kind of falls by the wayside because of that. I believe this is the only single edition you can get this movie on. Like I think you get it in a 4-pack and I believe you get it in the 3-pack with parts 4 and 5. But I don't know, man. I kind of wanted this solo edition of it because I really like the cover art, to be honest. That's why I got it. I wanted an auction on eBay for like $10. Totally worth it, I thought. And I gotta say, man, I don't know. I can't recommend this movie, but I can't say I hated it either. Like, as bad as it is, I could get through it and I could watch it. I don't know. It's hard to explain. But if I had to rate this one, I can't give it the pass. I'm going to give it just beneath the pass. I'm going to give this a 4.5 out of 10. Big step down from the first two movies. I'm talking 4 points of a step down. But that is Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 3. If you have seen this one, give me your ratings below. I get into some of these comments here. I just looked it up. There is no channel called The Angry Movie Reviewer. The first thing that comes up is that piece of crap Angry Joe. Sorry, I'm not a fan. All right, tell me how you really feel, Ty. I'm trying to change my name from my real name. What would be some good names for my channel? Just tell me what you do, Devin. Do you do like I see you have a little anime character. Do you do anime reviews like something along those lines? Because you could definitely there's tons of creative names you can come up with anime. I just searched. There's no channel called the Angry Movie. Wow, that is insane. I will fucking try to change that then because I like Grande's Graveyard as a title. I won't lie, but it's not bringing in the bucks other than you guys. But I do appreciate it. Devin Doom reviews. Oh, Nate's suggesting for Devin. That's cool. Let's see. My channel's not really review. I mean, I review stuff sometimes, but I haven't got like what I want my channel to be at. I'm very, very, very small. Dude, I'm very, very, very small too. Don't even worry about it. I will say, once you find your identity, that can really help you out more with a title. You have to get like for me, I talk about horror movies, so I took my name and something that is synonymous with horror, a graveyard, and I put the two together. It just worked. Alliteration, G and G, Grande's Graveyard. I just felt it worked. At one point, it was going to be Grande's Goosebumps. At one point, it was going to be called Grande's Grindhouse. At one point, it was going to be called Grande's Creep Show. Like I had 100 titles that I came up with. So just give me an idea and I can try to help you if I can, Devin. So what's the best part of this one? Okay, so before I move on to part 4, I can go back and tell. The best part of this, honestly, I think, is some of the atmosphere. I think the atmosphere works in this film. It is boring, I won't lie, but I do think Monty Hellman does do a capable job directing. I think there are the opening scenes and towards the end of the film, I think, is well shot. You do have, low budget and production value, but for what he was given, I don't think he did too bad of a job. I really don't. I after I watched the interview and watched the film, I saw what he was talking about. I still think the guy was on crack, but I got what he was saying. The best part of this movie is honestly some of the atmosphere. I think some of the atmosphere is salvageable in this movie. But I think had you changed a few things and maybe actually took what I said, this would have been a fucking great sequel, and you probably would have gotten even more of these. So I don't know. I don't really hate that one. 71 subs. That's cool. Hey, I thought of having a cute little kitchen as my icon would attract people. It's only attracted 62 people. Dude, I'm a small channel too. I can't. I wish I could give you better advice. all I could say is just keep it. See, I don't do this really, to be honest with you, man. I don't do this for like mad subs or anything like that. I just do it because I love the genre. I'm never gonna make money at this, and I'm never gonna fucking have people send me free shit and stuff like some of these people like. And that's I know no ill will towards them. All the power to them. I would take it if I could. But at the end of the day, I kind of just see it as like this is my passion. I love the genre. I love expressing my passion for the genre. And if there are 4 people watching right now, that's great, man. That's 4 people more than would be watching if I was doing this, and no one was watching. So I really do appreciate it, man. I know I'll never be big, but at the end of the day, it's about just expressing my passion because this is just one of those things I go crazy about. I love the genre. There's some people they'll go crazy about other things. They'll go crazy about sports, and they'll go crazy about bodybuilding and stuff like that. Like everyone has their passions, but I got to say, at the end of the day, man, for me personally, it's just all about my passion for this and being able to express it on a platform. And if some people see it, that's great. If no people see it, that's great. I'm still having a fun time. Wearing my Christmas hat, drinking my fucking cherry Coke, baby. Always a good time talking horror. And so that's the way I look at it, man. I think that's the best way to look at it. Unless you do make it big, which hats off to you if you do, Ty and Devin. I hope you both, kick ass and make it big. Because I'll definitely be watching. I'll definitely support your channel. Thank you for supporting mine. Anybody and everybody in this here, Nate too, of course. Nate's always supporting my channel. But this is a perfect transition. We just got lovey-dovey, we got mushy-gushy, we got all that stuff out of the way, man. We're going to get into my least favorite one of these movies right here. We are going to get into, I think, the biggest piece of shit in this fucking series, and it is none other than Initiation, Silent Night, Deadly Night, Part 4. I don't own this piece of shit. And if I did own this piece of shit, I would flush it down the toilet. I don't care if I would clog my goddamn pipes. Because this movie stinks. It doesn't belong in anyone's collection. It doesn't belong in anyone's VCR, DVD player, Blu-ray player. It doesn't belong. It should be burned. You know what George Lucas wanted to do with the fucking Star Wars Christmas special? That's what should have been done with this movie. He wanted to like destroy and burn every copy left in the world. And like I fucking would do that if I could for this movie because I hate this movie with a burning passion. That's just me. I hate this movie with a burning passion. Hey, that name is never going to be changed. It's named after my cat Junebug. She was hit by a car, so I named the channel. That's cool, man. John, your channel is amazing, man. You're honest and real. Oh, dude, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I really do appreciate you saying that. Looking forward to today. YouTube, buy movies, movie ticket could be tax deduction. I could argue it. Cool. Oh, yes, it is initiation time. Let me lay into this son of a bitch, Nate, because this is a piece of shit movie. Okay, so I'm going to try to break down some of the plot to this one. Brian Usna came in and directed this. Apparently, he pitched the story too, and originally this was pitched for part 3. So this was originally going to be part 3, but Monty Hellman read the script and said, this fucking sucks. I'm not directing this. And he ended up making part 3, which as bad as people will tell you this is, and it's not a good film. I'm not trying to say it is. This is a way better movie than fucking part 4, in my opinion. I think part 4 is the bottom of the fucking barrel, dude. It's a piece of shit. It basically tells the story of the opening scene. You have Clint Howard, yes, Clint Howard himself, playing the Ricky Caldwell character from the past 2 films, or the past 3, yeah, well, technically the past 3 films, but yeah, so you have him playing the character, although he's perfectly fine now. He's alive. He doesn't have a bucket on his head. He has no memory of the past or anything. So it's a completely different version of Ricky Caldwell than we've ever seen before. And he witnesses this woman who is thrown off a rooftop and bursts into flames before she hits the ground. And then you follow this dumbass reporter who's trying to figure out as to why that happened. And this stupid witch cult is brought into it, and they're a feminist witch cult, which pissed me off even more. And they're a bunch of feminist lesbian witches, and they're trying to use the lead girl as a vessel. And there are a crazy cockroach, bug, insect creatures that crawl around, and she gives birth to one at one point. Dude, this movie fucking sucks. There's now okay. My only redeemable factor, the reason I will give this the score I give it, the makeup effects are good. The practical bug effects are good. And little did I know, the guy that worked on this Nightmare on Elm Street right here, who did the cockroach motel scene, is the guy that did the bug effects in this. So that's why they look good. They got somebody with fucking talent, right? Um, but yeah, man, it is just so fucking lame, man. It's just so brutal, man. Like I fucking I don't know. Like I think this is a horrible fucking film. Like from the word go to the ending. Um it has no connection really to Christmas, you know? Like I think it has no connection to Christmas. It has no good characters. The acting is horrible. You have Reggie Bannister from the Phantasm movies. He shows up in this, and for some reason, he's this boss and he's misogynistic, and like I don't know, I just don't understand his character in this movie at all. What was Brian using to thinking, man? Because he was coming off Society, and after this he directed Return of the Living Dead Part 3, which I think is a really good sequel. So, and Society is a good movie too. So I don't know why or where he went wrong with this movie. Like I don't understand like why they went this route. They kind of went the Halloween 3 route with it, where they were like, oh, let's do something completely different and not related to the other movies. It totally doesn't work, man. It's a shame, because this movie really I think is by far the worst one of the series. Let's see. I got my Ty Junebug here. Mickey Rooney complained about the first movie. Yeah, he starred in this one. Must have paid him a lot of money. He actually stars in part 5, Ty. Yeah, it's weird. That one's a lot of fun though, man. I enjoy that movie. Oh, Nate, you blew it. You blew it. Dude, he blew it. He absolutely stinks, man. He absolutely fucking stinks. This is his worst film, like by far, because he's made some good stuff. But man, like at this particular movie, this particular idea, it stinks. I wish he would have just made this as a standalone film. Maybe it would have worked better. But overall, man, just it was a mess of a film. I didn't like it. Gee, thanks for saying it's cool my cat passed away. P.S. This is called sarcasm. I didn't say it was cool your cat passed away. I said it was cool you named the channel after your cat. That's what I meant by that. Sorry if you took it a different way. WTF tied the movie is part 5. I've never seen it, but from your description, it sounds insane and kind of dumb. This is actually part 4. Part 5, dude. But Devin, you're ahead, because this is Silent Deadly Night Part 5 is fucking kind of crazy and dumb at the same time. So we'll get into that one. So. Silent Deadly Night 4, the initiation of shit. Yes, Nate, this is the initiation of shit. It fucking stinks. Sounds like PC liberals would love this movie with a lesbian witch cult. Dude, I don't know how it hasn't been found by the modern day uh culture, because it's a very feminist movie overall. I don't know. I didn't like any of it. It didn't make any sense to me either, man. Like I just didn't understand what they were going for with this. Big fan of Yuzna, but this looks bad, man. It's the worst one. I think okay, it may be more entertaining, I guess, in some ways than part 3. Like it has a better pace to it, but the story is so interesting. The lead actress is boring. The direction and the story and the plot, like the difference between this and Halloween 3 is Halloween 3 is good, and this movie is like a very bad place to take the series. So I don't know. I just thought that was really a lame direction to take this franchise, because honestly I love the first 2, and then part 3 is a movie that's really boring and somber. But I thought they could have redeemed themselves, but unfortunately they kind of crashed and burned with this movie. I think part 4 is the worst one of the series, and I don't even want to talk about it anymore. I'm going to give it a 1 out of 10, ladies and gentlemen. It is a piece of shit, and it makes the Hall of Pain for me. It is an absolute piece of shit movie. Here we got Devin's comment. Feminism is not about gender equality. It's about special treatment. That's just my opinion. Don't attack me. I will never attack you, Devin. You're good people. Um, is it the Hellraiser Deader? Hellraiser Deader is better than this movie, Nate. I said it. I could feel Nate's jaw hitting the. I heard it just hit the ground all the way from where the hell Nate lives. I heard his jaw hit the ground. That Hellraiser. I'd rather watch Hellraiser. I'd rather watch Hellraiser fucking Bloodline over this movie. That's how bad this fucking movie is, man. I think it's one of the worst horror movie sequels of all time. I really do. Like, I think it is fucking terrible on every aspect. The only positive is the good bug effects, but why there are bugs in a Christmas themed horror film? Couldn't fucking tell you, Nate. Couldn't tell you. I don't know. Um, this brings me to one that I really enjoy. I know I was just trying to give you crap because that's my favorite thing in the world, to give people shit. Well, hey, man, you know what you should do? I recommend you. Well, you know what? I can't recommend you buy Silent Night, Deadly Night 4 because that would be a waste of money, brother. I would say buy this movie and give it to somebody for a Christmas gift. That's talk about giving people shit. I mean, you could buy this movie in your right hand and take an actual shit in your left hand, and I swear to God, I bet you more people would take out of your left hand than the right. That's how bad Silent Night, Deadly Night Initiation Part 4 is. All right, it stinks. I smell it from here, Ty. I smell it. I can smell what the Rock is shitting. That's what I can smell. All right. Would you want to watch a movie about a piece of shit than this movie? I put it this way, Devin. I'd rather let me think. What's out? Star Wars is out in the theater, right? I'd rather watch Darth Vader take a 2.5 hour fucking Sith shit with a fucking lightsaber receipt at the end of it, with lightsaber sound effects coming out of his ass and fucking Death Star explosion to his fucking toilet, than watch this fucking movie again. All right, it's up there with shit like Creepshow 3 and Jeepers Creepers 3. Like, it's up there with that shit. Like, it's fucking horrible on every aspect, man. Like, I couldn't hate this movie any more than I do. Like, I hate it. Nate's like, jaw dropped. When I was writing my script for Friday 13th Part 13, that's a badass Tommy Jarvis. In it, I wrote him to be a cross between Red Foreman and Archie Bunker. Really? Dude, imagine Red Foreman playing fucking Tom. That would be amazing, man. And dude, Archie's badass too, man. Archie's a legend, like, for real. I remind you, the angry video game nerd, your personality, except instead of video games, it's movies. Well, thank you. I appreciate that, man. I really do appreciate it. And hopefully I can catch on like the angry video game nerd, like I said. But all right, enough with crapping on Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 4. We're gonna get into one that I have an absolute ball with, and this one, man, this one, brace yourselves, because this is Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 5. Yes, Part 5. You can't see me. Part 5. The Toy Maker, written and directed by Martin Kittresser. And if you don't know who Martin Kittresser is, he is the man who put the mask on Jason. Yes, he is the writer of Friday 13th Part 3 and Friday 13th Part 5. He wrote both of those films, and he is the man that is actually credited as giving Jason the hockey mask. So kind of horror legend there, I would say, because if Jason has the most symbolic and iconic mask in horror movie history, and he's the guy that is the reason that he's wearing that mask, I think he deserves the credit. And I gotta say, this movie, Silent Night, The Toy Maker, is fucking insane. It is batshit crazy. It stars, like you were saying before in the comments, guys, Mickey Rooney as this evil toy maker named Joe Petto, and he has a son in the store with him named Pino. And if you can guess the ending right then and there, because it's just so bad, what the man who made the iconic Jason design created this movie, what I can't understand, dude. It's crazy, man. He actually wrote my favorite part. I like Part 5. I'm a big fan of Part 5. He wrote that. He wrote Part 3 as well. And he is apparently was a huge hockey fan. And that is the reason why they put the hockey mask on Jason. That's the story where he put that hockey mask on him. So the reason that Jason wears the hockey mask is because of this man. And, you believe this or not, he is to this day is working in Hollywood as Quentin Tarantino's script supervisor. So this guy has script supervised The Hateful Eight, Once Upon a Time in L.A., Death Proof, all these movies that Quentin Tarantino, Kill Bill, all these movies that Tarantino has done. Um, it's just so fucking strange, And weirdly enough, Monty Hellman, director of Part Three, I believe, he produced Reservoir Dogs. So you have two connections to Quentin Tarantino in this series, which I always thought was very weird. But let me get into the story of this one because it's just too fucking much fun to not talk about. I have a ball with this movie. You basically have this kid, and he gets this gift in the mail, and it's kind of like a deadly toy, and it ends up killing his stepfather. And throughout this movie, you go to Joe Petto's shop, and Mickey Rooney's running around with all these crazy one-liners, and he basically sells these evil toys that kill you. And I don't know, man. I have a ball with this movie. Like, it's batshit crazy, but it's very freaking enjoyable from start to finish. Like, I really, really enjoy Mickey Rooney's performance in this, like yelling at his son. He's like, Pino! He's like, get in the cellar now! He's yelling at Pino, and Pino is just like, oh, okay, Dad. And like, man, like, yeah, like, it's just so freaking funny. Where did you say Geppetto? What is this, Pinocchio? Yes, Devin, yes, it is. That's the point. The character's name is Joe Petto, Joepetto, in two, first and last name, and then Pino is short for Pinocchio. I shit you not. That's the direction they decided to take with this fucking film. And it's so fucking weird, man. Like, you have this one scene where this character, he buys a toy snake, and he's driving home, and the snake just comes alive and crawls down his throat, and he fucking dies on the snake. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, this is bizarre. You have a really, I think, an amazing death scene where this couple they're about to have sex, and all these toys come alive and kind of massacre them up a little bit. Really good. The gore effects are tremendous in this scene. The boyfriend character, he gets kind of like these saw blades to the chest, and it's just incredible, man. Like, I fucking think that scene was awesome. One of the best death scenes of the entire series, I would say. Um, and it's kind of funny, entertaining, man. Like the kid is really bad in it. Like, he doesn't say much throughout the film. Mickey Rooney is over the top as hell in it. The son Pino is over the top in it. Like, everybody and their mother was bad in this movie, which is why it was good, kind of thing. And the story and the plot and the dialogue and all that stuff, it's just so out there that you kind of have to get enjoyment out of it. And I gotta say, of the sequels after part two, this is my favorite one. I really enjoy Silent Night 5, The Toy Maker. It really, there's something about it that it just has this charm to it, man. And I've always enjoyed it since the first time I've seen it. It has a really batshit crazy finale. I don't want to ruin the entire finale, but it is like, the first time I saw it, I was like on the floor pissing myself laughing. I was like, yo, what? How did we get here? Like, it's just so out there. But I appreciate Martin Kitcherser going for it. I appreciate, him taking the Christmas theme back, because obviously toys and Christmas, they go together. I think that's a really cool kind of thing to bring back to the series after part four took such a departure of to a lesbian witch coven, which has nothing to do with fucking Christmas. The last time I checked, I don't know. Is that in the Bible? Is there fucking was Jesus friends with lesbian witches? I don't know. Maybe someone could tell me. I've not read the Bible lately. Judas 5:14 says, "I just fucking have a lesbian witch cult." The witch bitch cult right there. Horrible movie that is. Holy shit. But yeah, I like that they went back to the Christmas roots. You have Mickey Rooney running around in a Santa suit at one point. You have Joe Petto and Pinocchio fucking, making these deadly toys that kill people. There's a really funny scene where this dumbass kid on a pair of roller skates, they gimmick the roller skates to have like rockets in them, and this kid fucking like wipes out and gets hit by a car. Like, it's fucking hilarious, man. And the kid's mom is like, I think someone did this to him on purpose. And I'm like, yeah, no fucking shit. Somebody put rockets on the skates, bitch. Like, of course somebody did it on purpose. Jeez Louise, man. This is pretty bad. This is a bad film. Yeah, my script, Tommy, was a 6-star general in the special forces, and he teams up with Duke, and they're coming back to kick Jason's ass. Ty, man, you got some good ideas. I would love to see this movie get made, man. I would take this over anything Paramount or Michael Bay or whoever the fuck is producer of these movies now. I would take your scripts over theirs, man. I hate autocorrect. Yeah, autocorrect stinks. I like your black Santa hat. Perfect for these reviews. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. I thought it went perfectly too. I figured I was like, why the hell not, right? So if I had to rate part 5 out of 10 here, this is a tough one to rate because it's batshit insane. I'm gonna come in actually pretty high on this one. I'm gonna come in at like a 7 out of 10. I have some fun with this movie. I kind of recommend it. I just think it's batshit. It's fun. It goes back to the roots of the holiday in this one, whereas part 4 didn't have any of that. And part 3, it has it, but it's I don't know if he captures Christmas as well as he does a good atmosphere of the genre. Like he needed to capture more of a Christmas atmosphere, Monty Hellman. That would have helped the movie, I think, a little bit better. But with that being said, I'm going to give part 5 a 7 out of 10. And this brings us to the last film of the series, which I will not lie to you guys, I haven't rewatched it since it first came out. So you're going off my memory for 7 years ago about. This is Silent Night from 2012, the spiritual sort of remake, reboot of the original film, Silent Night, Deadly Night. To be honest with you, this was a very loose remake. It wasn't like it had no Billy character. It had, just homages, I guess, to the original. Like they do have the impalement on the antler scene in it again, and the director does a lot of cool things with the lighting and stuff to try to get you feeling in the mood. I think he did a good job directing. He actually went on to direct some turds though. He directed Escape Plan 2, which holy shit, that movie freaking stinks. When I first saw the movie, I actually thought it was Joe Petto. Yeah, I kind of have a sick mind, dude. You're not alone. I believe the Cinema Snob thought the same thing. But I mean, I can't blame you for thinking that. Oh, he's talking to June. Okay, I'll let you guys talk in the comments. And I'm sorry, I thought that was directed towards me. But yeah, man, Silent Night. I think it's an okay reboot slash remake. I think it has some positives to it. Overall, though, it's a movie that I've largely forgotten. Maybe I need to revisit it though, because it has been 7 years, like I said. So I maybe I'm probably due for a rewatch on that one. I believe it's on demand streaming for free, so I can definitely give that one a watch. When and if I want to watch that one. But yeah, man, I don't remember hating it. I don't remember really loving it. I just remember it being like had a good style to it, had some cool homages, and overall it wasn't too bad. It is what it is, though. I'd have to rewatch it really to give it the fair. I don't even know if I can give it a rating. So I'm gonna skip that one on a rating. I'm gonna have to give that one a rewatch. I'm sorry, it's been a busy week. I would have liked to have rewatched. I know Ryan's a big fan, and Ryan was supposed to join me, but I guess he never did. I don't know. He never decided to come on. I messaged him, but for some reason he didn't decide to show up. So it happens. He's busy, I guess. But I don't know. This was fun to talk about on my own. I had a lot of fun talking about these movies, and it makes me really want to watch part 2. To be honest with you, so I may just do that. I may put on part 2 because it's not too late at all or anything like that. Or anything like that. So I could probably get into that. Okay, so we got a couple more. Let's see. You guys are talking about making. I would love to do that. I've tried to make a fan view a few times. Um, oh, cool. You guys talk about making a film. That is so cool, man. Collaborating and making a movie. This is badass. I hope you guys fucking do it because it'd be badass. Um, Alrighty though. I'm probably gonna stop the stream somewhere around here. I just wanted to say before I get off, thank you all for joining me. I really appreciate it. This was a really fun stream to talk about all these movies, and I really have been meaning to talk about these for a while. Like I really want to talk about part 3 on here, and then of course the original 2. Always like a fun time watching these movies. Um, and overall, I gotta say, I've been watching them like crazy lately. Like I watched part 1, part 3. I did watch part 4 before I did the show a couple days ago, which I really regret. So that leaves me with 2 and 5. I gotta watch 2 and 5, and maybe I'll watch 3. Maybe I'll watch Silent Night. But I want to thank you all for joining. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much, everybody. Everybody in the comments. Ty, Devin, Nate. I really appreciate you guys watching me, supporting me. I really do appreciate it. And I do hope you guys make this movie that you're talking about in the comments. This is pretty cool, man. I would love to see part 13, Ty and Devin style, man. That'd be some badass film. So that's gonna be all for tonight. I really appreciate you all again. But I gotta say, have a great holiday. Have a great Christmas. Great New Year. I hope you all happy and healthy. I'll probably be uploading some videos, but I gotta say, um, I don't know like when and where. Like I it's gonna be spaced out because when I'm off and it's time off like that, stuff like that. So amazing stream. Thank you, Nate. Thank you as always, man. I really appreciate it. Let's see. Grande was just saying mine and his fan film very similar, having. Uh, oh, cool. Okay, wait. Okay, okay. It's a little bit in between. Maybe you could explain the toxic waste ending of part. Hey, I'm okay with lesbians being in horror movies. Come on, lesbian makeout scene in Friday 13th movie. I'm cool with that as long as they're not feminist lesbians that run a witch cult. I'd be cool with that. Would be the first time Duke met Jason to make their first battle. Very cool. Very cool. I think that's a cool direction to take it in, Devin. I would like to see that. But all right, guys, thank you so much for joining. I appreciate it. Much love and respect to all of you. Have a great holiday. Too sweet, everybody. I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.